Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going through the books that I have read this month. So it's actually not that many. I know some people maybe read like, I don't know, 10 books a month or something ridiculous like that. There are those like bookstagrammers and like book TikTokers out there that are like reading so many books. They're really doing the most when it comes to reading. I'm not one of those people. I'm a slow-ish reader. My parents are probably going to be so confused because I'm always disappearing reading. So they're like, how have you only read 4 books? But I'm a slow-ish reader. I read about a page a minute. I have a reading app that tells me that. I'm not like calculating it all scientifically and like really obsessively. My hair just won't behave. It's because I washed it yesterday and I straightened it this morning, and it just, when it's in that state, it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't look quite right. Anyway, yeah, so I only read about a page a minute, which to some people that might be like super quick, but to other people you're like, it takes you a whole minute to read a page? Oh my god. So, you know, everybody's different when it comes to reading, and we need to stop comparing ourselves to each other when it comes to reading. But anyway, yes, I have read 4 books this month. Well, 3 and a bit. I'm technically still reading the last one, but I don't really like it, so I might not finish it. We'll get into it when we come to it. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I read this month, I talked about it briefly in my books I read this summer video because I had like recently started it, but I finished it at the start of September, and it is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. So I didn't write down any notes about this, I don't think, which was very, very silly. But like I said, I didn't write any notes, but like I said in my books I read this summer video, if you are American, you'll probably know this book by the title People We Meet on Vacation. So it's that book. If you're confused, it's that book. So if you read People We Met on Vacation, People We Meet on Vacation, then you've read this book. For some reason in the UK, and maybe the rest of Europe as well, I don't know, it's called You and Me on Vacation instead. Oh my gosh, I damaged the spine! I hate it when that happens. Fuming. Anyway, oh, it's really hot in my room. Oh my gosh, I put a jumper on because like the weather doesn't look great, but oh my gosh. I've got my Elwood's Loath jumper on from Etsy. If you're wondering. You weren't, you don't care, but now you know. So I'm proper rambling. I did really enjoy this book. I remember it gets a little bit steamy, a little bit spicy, but like it's not 50 Shades, you know, there's like 2 steamy bits ish, maybe 3, I don't remember, but I really liked it. The thing I'm finding with romance books that really annoys me, now that I've started reading more of them, it really grates on me, right? So most romance books I've ever read are like kind of will they won't they, enemies to lovers, or like friends to lovers kind of thing, and you like don't really know, well, like you do know that they're gonna get together, but yeah, it's like a slow burn sort of thing, and then they finally get together and you're like, yes, and they're all like happy and giggly, and then they have a really big row over literally nothing. Most of the time it's over nothing. Sometimes they're actually like big rows, but it's like 2 chapters before the end, so you're like, well, they're gonna resolve this like that. So even if it is like a big fight, like in one of the books I read, it was actually quite a big fight, and I guess it was kind of significant stuff. It wasn't like dumb stuff entirely. So it's like, you're gonna resolve this in 3 chapters. Okay, queen, you do that. Yeah, so I thought that was a bit dumb, especially with this book as well. I thought the row was dumb. I thought the reconciliation was a bit dumb, but like they end up together, it was cute. Is what it is. Now we have Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. So if you don't know, this is a collection of 3 novellas, so short stories by Ali Hazelwood, and they've just put them all together nicely and conveniently in this book. So it literally says at the top, a collection of steamy steminess. Do you get it? Do you get it? Like STEM, feminist. Do you get it? Do you get it? a collection of steamy, feminist novellas. Mara, Sadie and Hannah are friends first, scientists always. Though their fields of study might take them to different corners of the world, they can all agree on this universal truth. When it comes to love and science, opposites attract and rivals make you burn. So the three novellas are called Under One Roof, Stuck With You and Below Zero. So Under One Roof is about Mara. And it says, an environmental engineer discovers that scientists should never cohabitate when she finds herself stuck with the roommate from hell, a detestable big oil lawyer who won't leave the thermostat alone. And then Stuck With You is Sadie's story, and Sadie is a civil engineer and her nemesis take their rivalry and love to the next level when they get stuck in a New York elevator. And then Below Zero is, of course, Hannah. She's the only one left. So Hannah's a NASA aerospace engineer, sorry. It says, her frozen heart melts as she lies injured and stranded at a remote Arctic research station. The only person willing to undertake the dangerous rescue mission is her longtime rival. That was building up the whole time I was reading that. I don't know if you could see my face going like, try not to sneeze. She's a sneezy gal. She's a sneezy gal. So yeah, I love Ali Hazelwood. I think I've mentioned it before. That she always kind of writes romantic heroes that are my type, which I think is just generic everyone's type. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but it's just like the generic kind of like tall, muscly, like, yeah, that. Which is really funny because my ex-boyfriend was really short. That's why we're not together. For legal reasons, that's a joke. I'm kidding. That is not why we're not together. Oh, that's a story. What is wrong with me? Am I on crack? But yeah, like my boyfriend now is tall and muscly, so and it's going a lot better. So what does that tell you, ladies? For legal reasons, that's a joke. Anyway, back to the point. This is why it's good that I've written notes so it can keep me on track. But yeah, I can get so lost in Ali Hazelwood's writing. Like both her previous like full novels, The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, I read in like 2 days. Like I think I actually read Love on the Brain in a whole day. Like I just sat and read it. And I think Love on the Brain, it did take me 2 days because I think I was busy or something. I don't know. But yeah. So like I remember one time I was reading, it was whilst I was reading this, and I read when I do my evening skincare. So I like to leave about 10ish minutes between each step just so all the ingredients have a chance to like sit on my face and absorb and do their thing before I like bombard it with more stuff. Anyway, that's another point. But yeah, I will read for like 10ish minutes. I put a little timer on. And one time I was reading this and I had been reading for half an hour and I hadn't even realised it. I hadn't even realised that my timer had gone off. I was just so like in the zone, I didn't hear anything. I was just like that was me. Oh, I dropped my phone. So I said it's cute that it's like all three of the friends' love stories, but I prefer the traditional long story romance books like other ones. I think because you get more time to get like invested, because like I know it's obviously just a lot more fast paced because they're short stories, and it's just kind of like, oh, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't really enjoy Stuck With You, the one with Sadie in the elevator. I felt like that one was like probably the shortest, I think, and it just felt kind of rushed, whereas the other one's kind of like the pace made sense. Oh, at the end there is an epilogue, right, and it's like months and months and months later, but it's from the point of view of their partners. I love that. I love that she switched to POV and it's like the man's POV. We love it. We love it. And then next up we have Love Theoretically, also by Ali Hazelwood. You know how before I said I preferred the long romance books? When I first started reading this, it actually took me a while to get interested, and I was thinking maybe if it's because obviously I'd just read all the short stories that were like bang, 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 like fast paced. It was like, oh, they're together, they hate each other instantly. Oh, it's been a couple months, now they're bonking. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, pwah. I'm a bit hyper, I don't know why. Yeah, so this is obviously slower pace. I really enjoyed from chapter 5/6, so I guess that's where it kind of picked up for me. So I will read you the blurb because I forgot to do that because I am silly. But it says, the many lives of theoretical physicist Elsie Hanaway have finally caught up with her. By day, she's an I don't know if I'm saying this word right, but this is how I said it in my head when I read it. Adjunct? Someone help me out? But she's an adjunct professor, toiling away at grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in the hopes of landing tenure. By other day, Elsie makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into her expertly honed people-pleasing skills to embody whichever version of herself the client needs. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig, until her carefully constructed Elsie-verse comes crashing down, because Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and arrogant older brother of her favourite client, turns out to be the cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists everywhere. And he's the same Jack Smith who rules over the physics department at MIT, standing right between Elsie and her dream job. Elsie is prepared for an all-out war of Elsie's prepared for an all-out war of scholarly. Oh my god! That. But those long penetrating looks, not having to be anything other than her true self when she's with him, will falling into an experimentalist's orbit finally tempt her to put her most guarded theories on love into practice. So Elsie, basically she's never really been herself, and she's kind of developed this like almost obsessive like need to please people, and she kind of alters her personality and like lies about her interests and stuff like that just to make everyone happy, just so that people will like her. So like, for example, her roommate is into really specific like old-fashioned like niche kind of movies that like film snobs are into, and Elsie's like, yeah, I love those too, but actually she hates them and she's like a massive Twilight stan, but she just pretends. And Jack sees through her bullshit. He goes, you is liar. And yeah, they are kind of like enemies. It's one of those things, it's like the Spanish love deception in the way of like, she hates him and she thinks he hates her, but he's actually like always fancied her and is like low-key in love with her since day one. And she kind of finds that out and then she's like, oh. And then, yeah. So this is the one that I said, the fight, the typical romance novel, final argument, final test of the relationship, was quite big, and I'd say it was like kind of significant, like, but then also it was kind of also stuff they'd already talked about, so it's like, why are you blowing up with this now? Like, Elsie, what are you doing? So this is the one I'm still currently reading. It is called Other People's Husbands by Elizabeth Noble. I bought this at the airport and I just thought it sounded so juicy, so I'll read you the blurb and then we'll get into it. I have opinions. So, sometimes friendship crosses a line. You're all close friends, bonds forged at the school gates. You've laughed and cried together as your kids have grown. You know each other so well, perhaps too well. Other people's husbands can be so tempting, and life is too short to worry about consequences or the circle of friends you might be about to break. I have comments to make. So, I put they were slow, and I do agree with that, like, it's kind of, I mean, obviously you gotta set the scene and stuff, I guess, and, like, obviously they're not gonna jump right into, like, the affair, do you know what I mean? It's not gonna be, like, chapter 1, I was bonking my friend's husband, you know, like, you gotta build up to the bonk, I get that, and yeah, I wrote, I just want more scandal, as I was on, as I was about to start chapter 5, and then literally the end of chapter 5 is when it started to get a little bit scandalous, and I was like, lol. And it's actually making me kind of angry. It's making me angry. Like, cheating actually, it just makes me so angry. So I don't know why I bought this book. I probably should have thought it through better, but it's just like, them condoning this affair and kind of like justifying it, it's like, it's making me so mad. And the thing is, right, I'm not gonna say the names of like the people that are cheating, even though it's revealed quite early on. I just won't. But the woman in the affair, her relationship doesn't seem that great. She seems very dissatisfied, very unhappy. So like, okay, her eye's gonna wander. But the man that is cheating, the husband that's cheating with the woman, he keeps saying how happy his marriage is and how much he loves his wife and how great his wife is. Like, the first chapter of chapter 5 is like about him and his thoughts and stuff and how he starts thinking about this other woman, and he's thinking about how great his wife is and how happy their life is together and stuff like that and how good their marriage is. And it's like, so then why are you her mate? And the person who is feeling guilty and torn up about it is the woman in the unhappy relationship, not the man who's in the happy marriage. He doesn't really seem to give a crap. He's the instigator. He's asking her to come out all the time and stuff like that. And like, the woman is so like guilt-stricken that she can't sleep and stuff like that. And it's like, but like, at least she's not in a happy marriage. I don't know. I'm not condoning. I'm not saying if you're in a happy relationship that means you're allowed to cheat. Like, if you're in a happy relationship, just leave the relationship. Like, if you'd rather be with someone else, then go be with someone else. Don't cheat. PSA, don't cheat. Yeah, it's just making me mad. It's so angry to the point where I don't want to finish it. But like, I do really want some drama. I am a part of a Facebook group, and I have asked in that group. I don't think my post has been approved yet. But I've asked, has anyone read it? Does it get better? Should I stick with it? Is there going to be some tea? Like, I picked it up for the scandal, but all I'm getting is anger. Like, it's just making me mad. I think it's well written, but it's just making me so mad. If you're unhappy in a relationship, just leave. It's making me angry. But I do enjoy the way it's written, but it is making me angry. It's making me very angry, so I'll let you know if I finish it. I'll update you guys probably on my TikTok / my Instagram. They are both at Caitlin is Confused YT, and if I do finish it, then it'll probably be at the start of my books I read this month for next month. But I don't think I am going to finish it, so. But yeah, if I do, I will put it on my final thoughts on TikTok / Instagram. So if you're interested, make sure you're following me at Caitlin is Confused YT on TikTok and Instagram. Cheeky little self-promo. Teehee. But yeah, that is it. That is all the books I have read this month. Like I said, some people might be like, that is not a lot of books. Some people might be like, oh my gosh, that's so many books. Like, you read 3 whole books and are like partway through another book. That is so many for a month. And other people are like, is that it? But that's the books I read this month. Some people read stacks, like this big stacks of books. That's not me at all. It's just not. Sorry. I don't think that will ever be me. I don't think I could ever read stacks and stacks of books in a month unless I was just reading full time. Like 24/7 non-stop. But I'm not, unfortunately. If I could get paid to read full time, amazing. But that is not the life I lead currently, unfortunately. Anyway, I've been so weird in this video. I'm really sorry. I feel like I've just been kind of hyper and like weird and strange and a bit crazy delulu. I don't know. I'm not like tired or anything. I've been having great sleep, so yeah, I don't really know why I'm so weird. I think that just is the way I am. But yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.